All right, we've just come back from South Sado Market. Now it's time to get cracking in the kitchen. The first dish I'm going to do is a dish called Bicol Express, which is quite a popular dish here in the Philippines. A pork belly here has been cut into strips. So what we're going to do is just remove that bone, and we're going to fry it and then use that as a brown stock. And then with this, we'll just sort of cut them into nice chunks. Okay, so now all of these bones have been removed. Instead of throwing them away, I'm going to incorporate this into our dish. I'm going to roast them off in a frying pan until they're really nice and brown. Okay, so now that all of the ribs have been fried off, I'm just basically going to make an onion brulee. So now that the onions are really nice and brown, they're going to give us a really nice sweetness to our stock. We've got so much flavor in this pot. We don't want to waste it. All of the sweet onion, all the roasted pork bones. So I'm just going to pour a little bit in, and that's all of the flavor sort of stuck to the pan. If we just had to wash that pan out, we'd lose all of this flavor. Then it's just going to go into our stock, like so. And then add the rest of our water. So we're just going to boil this stock for maybe 20 minutes. We don't want to overboil it. We just want to extract all of the flavor out of the pork bones. Okay, so now it's time to fry the pork. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to fry it in a pot, exactly the same pot as what we are going to make the Bicol Express in, because all of the fried bits that's going to be stuck to the bottom of the pan is all flavor, and we just want to keep all of that. When you're frying, try not to overcrowd the pan, because it's going to cool the pan down. You're not going to get enough heat, and it's not going to brown. So it'll boil as opposed to frying. So pork, salt and pepper. Get the pan on and just stick your pork in. And as soon as the pork goes in, we just have to put the lid on to stop any of the fat sort of coming at us. And if it needs to be stirred, you just pick it up and then give it a shake. Okay, so this pork has been frying for about 4 or 5 minutes. And now you can sort of hear the pork starting to spit a little bit. And that's a good indication that the skin is now getting fried. And that's the perfect point for us to take it off and transfer it. And that is the perfect color we want on our pork. Now, we haven't put any oil in yet because there's so much fat in this cut of pork. We don't need too much oil in there. So we are just going to take these out, drain a little bit of the oil, and then put the next batch in until all of the pork is sort of that nice brown color.
I don't know what they say, I got your mother's place, but I know for sure that you end up alone if you keep treating people that way.
So for this, we're probably going to need about 6 to 8 bird's eye chilies. Now 6 to 8 chilies will give you quite a spicy Bicol Express. We haven't cleaned the pan at all. If you have a look over there, we've still got quite a lot of caramelized bits inside, which is perfect. It's going to give us a nice roasted flavor.
Humiliated and fooled by the world, so it seems.
So if you don't have enough oil in your pot, you can add just a little bit of this bacon oil just to sort of help it not stick. And what the onions are going to do now, the onions is going to lift up all of that caramelized bits at the bottom of the pan. So after frying all the garlic, the onions and the chilies off, we should then have a nice clean base to our pot. So now it's time to get these green long chilies in. These aren't very spicy, but they have a really nice flavor to them. No need to chop these. We're just going to sort of throw them in there and just fry that off just a little bit. Okay, so once that's been frying off, it's now time to get our fried pork back into there. Give that a little stir around. Okay, so once that's fried off just a little bit, it's now time to add this really nice brown pork stock to it, just a little bit. And then it's now time to add the coconut cream. We've got 3 cans of coconut cream here, and that is just gonna go in. And now it's just a case of leaving it, let it simmer for like 40 minutes to an hour, just until the pork is really, really nice and soft. And that's how easy it is to make Bicol Express. And now the Bicol Express is pretty much done. It's really nice and thick. It's nice and spicy. Really like a nice dark brown color because of all of the roasting of the bones, roasting the meat. We've just taken these baguio beans. We're just going to drop them in for 2 to 3 minutes. And what this is going to do is going to add texture as well as color to this dish.